All right, let's dive into something totally unexpected today. Clarifiers. And no, we're not talking about like magical organizers.
Right, not the mystical kind.
Exactly. We're digging into the work of the pros who make sure the oils we use, in our food, even our cars, are super pure.
It's really interesting when you think about it, how a job that seems so specific,
Niche.
yeah, totally,
Yeah.
how it actually impacts these massive industries we kind of just take for granted.
Totally. So get this. Our RoleCatcher info calls a clarifier someone who operates specialized equipment to refine and purify oleo and oil products. Sounds pretty straightforward, but then you see the tools, steam, strainers, skimmers, even laser particle counters. It's like high-tech hands-on work.
And it's that expertise that directly affects the final product, and that impacts us all.
Whoa, when you put it like that, it makes you wonder, like, where does this even happen? Am I picturing huge factories?
Yeah. You're spot on. We're talking about those large-scale manufacturing plants. It can be intense. We're talking loud, hot, the works. But here's where it gets really cool. The whole industry is changing so fast.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, the guide was talking about all these tech advances that are making the equipment even more precise, more efficient.
So it's like you need that deep knowledge, but also got to keep up with all the tech, huh?
Exactly.
So what does it really take to be good at this? It can't just be pushing buttons, right?
It's a cool mix, actually.
Hmm.
You need the practical skills for sure, but knowing the science behind it is huge.
What? Give me an example.
Well, think about viscosity, how particles act, the different types of oils. It's a lot.
Man, that's more than I ever realized. It's like suddenly I'm way more interested in the olive oil in my pantry.
Right.
But it's cool. This guide doesn't stop at the basics. It talks about where you can go with this.
Oh, yeah. The career path part was great.
It's not just a job. It's like a whole journey.
And there's room to grow, too. Like
Hmm.
becoming a supervisor, leading a team.
So this isn't just a stepping stone. It's a whole career.
Exactly. And you know what else? They mentioned there's a ton of support, too. Like RoleCatcher has 120,000 practice interview questions, even AI that helps you get better at answering them.
120,000. That's wild. Sounds like they're serious about helping people get into this line of work. So for anyone listening, what's your first impression? Anything surprise you about this whole clarifier thing so far? So we've talked about how clarifiers make sure our oils are top notch, but I gotta ask, like, what does that even mean these days? Are we just talking about getting rid of, like, the obvious stuff?
Oh, it's way more intense than that. Think microscopic, like stuff you'd never even know was there.
Wait, really?
Totally. Heavy metals, pesticides, even tiny plastic bits.
Whoa, how did they even find that stuff?
That's where the tech gets really wild. They use things like spectrophotometry, gas chromatography. It's next level stuff.
Okay, so high tech is huge, but there's got to be a human element too, right? You can't automate everything.
Right. Think about when the guide mentioned heating those tanks with steam. That takes skill, knowing the exact temperature, the pressure.
Hold on, back up. Why is heat even important here? I'm no scientist, but doesn't that seem kind of counterintuitive to purify something?
It's all about this thing called viscosity. Heating it up makes the oil thinner, more fluid.
And that matters because...
Well, think about separating sand from water. Easy, right? Now try separating it from honey. Way tougher.
So the thinner it is, the easier it is to get those little bits out.
Exactly. It's all about tweaking those properties to hit that perfect level of purity. And it's different for every type of oil, too. Too cold, and it won't separate. Too hot, you could wreck the whole batch.
Wow, the precision is incredible. No wonder they need such attention to detail. One wrong move and it's game over.
Exactly. You got to be on top of it constantly, adjusting, checking, making sure everything's perfect.
It's like they're conducting a symphony of purification or something. But what happens if something goes wrong? We keep saying purity is key, but like, what's the real impact if something slips through?
It can be a big deal. Depends what it is and what the oil's for. Think about food. Even a little bit of something wrong can mess with the taste, how long it lasts, in the worst case, even be dangerous.
Yeah, that's not good. It's kind of reassuring to know there are people out there making sure our food is safe. But it's not just food, right? What about all those industrial oils?
Good point. In some ways, it's even more important for those. Think about the oil that keeps machines running. Any impurities, and you're talking less efficiency, parts wearing out, breakdowns, even safety risks.
Wow, I had no idea how important this all was. It really shows how crucial a clarifier's expertise is. So let's say I just finished training, I'm ready to be a clarifier, what's next? How do I even start in this whole world?
The RoleCatcher guide actually had some good tips. It kept saying hands-on experience is key, even for those entry-level jobs.
Yeah, but how do you get experience if you need experience to get the job? It's like a catch-22, right?
True, but there are ways around it. The guide mentioned internships, apprenticeships, even volunteering in similar fields.
So it's about showing you're serious, willing to learn the ropes, get familiar with the equipment.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've put in the time, got some experience under your belt. What's next for a clarifier? What does that career ladder look like?
The cool thing is, there are a bunch of paths you can take. Like the guide said, some people are natural leaders. They might become supervisors, running the show, making sure those quality standards are met.
That makes sense, especially with all this tech changing so fast. You'd want someone in charge who can handle that.
Absolutely.
But what about the people who love the technical stuff? Can they, specialize in this field?
For sure. Remember how we were talking about quality control and all those tricky contaminants? Well, some clarifiers become the experts in those areas. They might focus on one type of detection or master a specific technique.
So they're like the detectives of the oil world, finding those hidden problems and coming up with creative solutions.
That's a great way to put it. Oh, and one more thing the guide mentioned that's important. Networking. Going to those industry events, being part of professional groups, that's where you can learn a lot, hear about new stuff, even find job openings.
It's amazing how just talking to people can open up so many possibilities. So, to wrap this up, if someone's listening thinking, hey, this clarifier thing is for me, what's the most important thing to remember?
I think it's about realizing the impact you have, even if people don't see it. Clarifiers, they're essential. They make sure the stuff we use every day is good, safe. It's a job that takes real skill and precision, but you can grow, become an expert, and know that you're making a real difference.
That's a great point. It's about being proud of the work you do, even behind the scenes, knowing you're a part of something bigger that keeps everything running. Well, there you have it. We dove deep into the world of Clarifier, learned about the skills, the challenges, the career paths, and how much of an impact they have on so many industries we rely on every day. But as we finish this deep dive, here's a final thought. What if being a clarifier wasn't just about keeping things pure, but about being a leader in sustainability? Imagine using those skills to come up with new, eco-friendly ways to make things, reduce waste, and be kinder to our planet. It's something to think about, proof that even the jobs we might not know much about can have a big impact on building a brighter, more sustainable future. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.